how do you remain spiritual when there's a lot of turmoil, emotion, mental activity that results in direct, immediate consequences in the dream?
Okay. I'll just see what my response is. I don't know if it'll be helpful to you. But all of this is you. All of this is you. There is not some karma that comes along and takes you off course or off track. There's not some outside force that knocks you off your position on Maslow's hierarchy. You're getting up to self-actualization. You're doing the basic needs. You've done the medium needs. You've done some of your higher needs. And you're almost there. Now you can start to concentrate on self and create. And suddenly karma comes along and knocks you off. No, this is all you. Now, that's just words. This is all you. But if we quieten just a little bit, don't even have to be that quiet. Well, I don't think. You tell me. You don't have to be that quiet, just to sort of get a sense of connection. Maybe not of total and utter unity, but as some kind of connectedness, some kind of connection, some kind of sense that I'm not just this small thing, but you can even say, a part of something bigger. There is something bigger going on here. Something holy, something divine here. In our midst. Something precious. Something holy, something sacred, something divine. Have a sense of the divine. This sense of the divine can give you faith. Faith in the good times and the bad times, if that makes sense. When the times are good, we think of them as being real. They're not. That holiness, that which is holy, is the only reality. It is actually your own self, your own non-dual self. We may perceive it as being apart from us. We may perceive ourselves as being part of it. But actually, there is only that, and it has no parts. But for now, even just to get a dualistic sense of there is something special here, something holy, something sacred, something divine. And allow that intuition feeling, that divine feeling to grow, to take you over, to restore you, to give you faith. There is no up and down. There is no high and lower. There are apparently good things that happen in your life. Don't take them too seriously. Sure, enjoy them, And then apparently bad things will happen. Don't take them too seriously. These are ups and downs. The ups included. It's an illusion. Don't rely on these things to make you happy, give you strength. Look to the divine. Lean on God only. He is ever present and eternal. Or she is ever present, eternal. She is your own being. You are that. Now, Arwen said, is the full teaching to abide as the self? 4 words. I said, yes. I'm going to take that back. So it's to discover what you are. The reason I'm taking that back is because of the way you use the phrase. It's not like Tom, is one thing, I'm going to abide as the self, which is the second thing, and then eventually, that word that you mentioned, Jimmy, eventually, over time, attain realization. You've got 4 things now. I am going to abide as the self, And in time, eventually, I will attain liberation. That's not how it works. I say eventually, I say it takes time. This is a concession. There is no time. You are the soul. It just seems like it takes time. It doesn't take time. The point of abiding as the self is not something you do, and then if you do it for long enough, oh, Jimmy, how long have you abided for the self today? Oh, I abided for the self for 4 hours. Oh, bad luck, Jimmy. I abided for the self for 6 hours today. I'm going to beat you. And the abiding for the self race to liberation. It doesn't work like that. It's to discover what you are. Now, I also said in answer to Arwen that, actually, I'm just going to put you on mute, Jimmy, because that might slightly improve any cool issues we're having today. I also said to Arwen, you have to, most people at least, have to hear the teaching so they know how to do the practice. Right? You learn how to do the practice and then you can do the practice. Well, the other thing is, that's true, but that'll only take you so far. You learn how to do the practice even more by doing it. And it's not just like, it's just to be. It's just to be. And you all have to find your own way. How do I just be? Now, Tom, me, I like the breath. I like just to follow the breath. That's always been very nice for me. Follow the breath, mind becomes calm, then do self-inquiry. But that might not be the way for you. You might have to do some chanting, you might have to do some affirmations, you might have to find some tricks that work for you. And you know what? You will find them if you're interested in finding them. Very easy to find out what works for you if you want to. Other thing I want to say, you mentioned, Jimmy, that sometimes some spiritual practice work for you, or you've seen how self-inquiries worked for you in the past. It doesn't. Spiritual practices don't really work for you. There are some things you can do in your life that will help you through various things. Some practices will make you feel happier. There's some skills you can learn that will help you navigate areas of your life. As you say, it's like Jedi Knight training, the imaginary Jedi Knight that you think you are. There are things you can do to improve the dream. These aren't, self-inquiry doesn't really do that necessarily. It may do. I mean, it will do actually, but it will do actually. But self-inquiry isn't for you as the body-mind. It's not there to improve your life as you conceive it. It's not there to improve the dream. It may result in improvements of the dream. Often does. But as you progress with your self-inquiry, you just care less and less about the contents of the dream. The dream fades. The dream becomes less and less real until it disappears. And all there is unity, oneness. This is the meaning of yoga. Yoga means unity. It means oneness. It means coming together. It means lack of duality. This is the true meaning of yoga. The deeper meaning of yoga. So it's not, the purpose of self-inquiry isn't to improve your life. If you find you do self-inquiry and you're feeling happier as a result, that's great. But don't think, oh, my self-inquiry worked because I feel happier as a result. The point of self-inquiry is to go beyond body and mind. remove the idea that, I mean, this is pretty radical. Remove the idea that there is a body, there is a mind, and there is a world, and you have a life. It's rather dramatic, I know. But these are all fiction. As long as you cling to these ideas, you're going to perpetuate this, which is your own creation. Karma, if you want it to, some people say, oh, you've got to wait till the karma ends, or, you get some good karma before you can become liberated. Karma, if you allow it to, it will go on endlessly. The dream doesn't have to end. It will just carry on until you want it to end. You create the dream with your thoughts, your vasanas, the cosmic thoughts, cosmic vasanas, which are your thoughts, your vasanas. And then when you desire to end the dream, then the dream will end. You control the whole thing. You have total free will in this. You have total free will. You are the self. You are God. You're literally God, the creator of the entire heavens and earth, hell. It's all your own creation. So never feel helpless. I mean, there will be times you'll feel helpless. But try and remember, if you do feel helpless, try and remember this teaching. You're not helpless. You are God. So literally, the thing about non-duality, oneness, one without a second. There is only one without a second. You are that. That means you are the creator. You are the destroyer. You are the liberator. You are whatever the opposite of the liberator is, the enslaver. The creator of bondage and the creator of liberation. It's all you. You have total free will. This is why Bhagavan says, the thing you have choice over is whether or not you abide as the self. This is why the Upanishads say, liberation comes to the one who desires liberation. Not to if you do all these rituals and practices and studying. No, just the one who desires liberation. To him or to her, liberation arises. If your desire is to be a person, a human being, and if you're interested in that life, then that will continue. If you are interested in discovering your true nature as the Holy Spirit, as Brahman, as God, the formless, infinite, absolute, in which there's no suffering, that's what you're interested in, that will arise. This is why Nisargadatta Maharaj says it is all a matter of earnestness. It's being earnest. It means what your heart's desire is. So most people will earnestly want liberation, and at the same time they will be attached to their body mind. Most of you here, you'll be wanting liberation on one hand, and you'll want a good life for yourself. That's normal, that's natural on the spiritual path. What I would encourage you to do is contemplate where this will get you. And contemplate what you want. If you attend to worldly things, you will always end up with suffering. You might have some pleasure and happiness along the way, but you won't get liberation through temporary, transient, worldly things. You won't. You know this already. You've heard the teaching enough times. Temporary things called objects or phenomenal arisings, they will not lead you to liberation. They're temporary. They will only lead to temporary things. They'll lead to temporary pleasures and temporary pain. And then you get some more temporary pleasure, and then some more temporary pain. And this whole thing of temporary pleasure and temporary pain is suffering. The whole thing is suffering, or some sort of. Think about it, contemplate it. When you do yourself inquiry, when you learn to just be, contemplate this sometimes. Contemplate this. Think, what am I doing? When am I trying to get here? Is it just perpetuating in me, or am I letting go? Surrendering into my being.